Have you ever taken a hike outside and just looked around at all the nature and just wondered why all the plants and animals are doing their thing? If so, join us on an adventure while we explore nature together. I'm Joshua, and this is my friend Aaron, and we're both naturalists for Five Rivers Metroparks. Welcome to Wild for Ohio.
Come with us as we learn about environment and ecosystems. And today we're at Cox Arboretum, which is the perfect place to talk about trees. Ohio is now at the angle where many of our trees stop photosynthesis. When the leaves stop producing the sugar, they release a hormone causing them to fall. But not all of our trees change color. Our evergreen trees stay green all year and drop small amounts of leaves year-round. They're able to stay green even in the winter due to their needle-shaped leaves with a waxy coating that makes them resistant to the cold and helps keep them from drying out.
Trees are so awesome. They play critical roles for our ecosystem, like providing food for wildlife, giving homes to birds and squirrels, but also bobcats and snakes and spiders and bats and just so much more. Trees give us all kinds of different wood that we use to make our tables and our desks and our chairs, and we can even burn wood in a fireplace to keep warm. Science tells us that walking in a forest actually helps us with our mental health and it helps reduce stress and relaxes us.
Trees are super important. Before European colonization, much of the state was covered in forests. However, about 100 years ago, nearly all of Ohio was logged and cleared for farming and mining. But thanks to conservation, nearly 30% of the state is now covered in forests. And it's made up of many different tree species like oaks, elms, maples, hickories, ash, cherry, dogwood, locust, and many, many more. You can actually probably find some of these in your own backyard. Trees act as habitats for a variety of species. Mammals like squirrels and raccoons use them for shelter. Squirrels will make dense nests of leaves in the tree, while raccoons will seek out cavities in the tree's trunk. Birds not only make nests in trees, but they use things like sticks and twigs as building material. And although you may not easily see them, insects like bees and other pollinators also rely on trees, as many of the blooms from Ohio's trees are an important source of nectar or food. Even fungi rely on trees as a habitat. When the fungi combines with the tree's roots, it's able to access sugars produced by the tree. And in return, the fungi make it easier for the tree to access nutrients and moisture in the soil.
Now, there are some animals out here that depend on certain species of trees, and they can get sick. Just like we can get sick and have to go to the doctor sometimes, trees can get sick. And if the certain species of trees dies, then the animals that use that species also dies. We used to have a really cool tree all over Ohio called American chestnut, but then an invasive fungus was brought over and introduced and spread throughout Ohio and killed most of them. Thank goodness we have many species of trees, because if we only had one, then there would be no forest. And now we have this little green beetle called an emerald ash borer, and it lays eggs in the trees, and its babies will grow up. They kind of look like caterpillars, and they move through the region of cell division right behind the bark, the only living part of the bark, and they just gobble that up. Well, that kills the tree. So that's why it's important that we protect biodiversity so that we have many kinds of different plants and trees out here to keep our ecosystems going and healthy.
As you can see, many species make their homes in trees, but the closest relationship that trees have with animals actually involves the food chain. Everything in nature goes through a cycle. You may have heard of the water cycle or the rock cycle, but nutrients actually travel in a cycle as well. Trees contribute nutrients to animals by taking power from the sun and turning it into energy. They then store that in their nuts, berries, twigs, roots, and even leaves.
Mammals, like us, like nuts and berries. Insects are more picky. Like many caterpillars like to eat certain species of trees, and without them, they wouldn't be able to go through metamorphosis and turn into butterflies. So, caterpillars eat the leaves, and then birds come by and eat the caterpillars. So now all of a sudden nutrients that the tree made are now in the birds flying in the air. So the nutrients out here in Ohio's ecosystems just keep going round and around and around.
Trees are an important part of many ecosystems here in Ohio, and you can use technology to help you identify different tree species in your own backyard and community. There is an app called Seek where you can take pictures or upload pictures of different plants or leaves, and it will help you identify them. Thanks for joining us today. Trees are one of the foundations of our Ohio habitats. And through getting to know our trees, you set yourself up for many more adventures, learning about things like birds, raccoons, coyotes, butterflies, and many more creatures.
There is so much going on in trees near you, just waiting right outside your door. Get outside and maybe we'll see you out on Ohio's trails sometime.
Take care.